with Tsabo out, so bring Kolani Sitoli in on left-back position, and then Sinoptolo Kwayiba, who's missed the last 2 matches, is back from injury, so he takes the place of Giovanni Falanda, who drops to the bench. And then up front, a change in striker. The new Zambian signing Enoch Sakala replaces Bienvenu Eva Nga. A Chippa side with 2 wins and a draw in their last 3 league encounters.
The real strength, of course, for Chippa is how they've defended throughout the season. Only 8 goals considered. That tells the story of Kamis in that middle of the park, who has played as a defender in the past. He's the one that breaks down the attack. But even better, Makele, defensively, and Chabalala are key to keeping the scoreline as low as it is.
Thabo September in charge, taking over from Corneli Corpo. Kaizer Chiefs, despite beating Mamelodi Sundowns last Sunday in the Nedbank Cup semi-final, have made 2 changes. One forced by injury, given him Simango drops out at centre-back, so Zita Quinica gets his very first start of the season. He's had only 14 minutes of football in this campaign, and then 1 change up front with Tashik Morris coming in for Glody Lilepo. He'll be alongside Wandile Duba in attack today for Amakosi.
29 goals considered. That doesn't make for a good picture defensively, but West today, Quinica comes in. He only comes in as a sub in the past, but they'll be hoping Kelly does the job in that middle of the park in diffusing the attacks from Chippa.
The 33-year-old Abongile Tom comes from Cape Town. He's in charge today. Another Cape Townian, Sibusiso Sisilane, on the bench. Thabo Twayise is from George, nearby here. A fairly short trip for him to come and officiate in today's Betway Premiership encounter. So Kaizer Chiefs, we mentioned him, Simango out. Remember, a little bit of a centre-back crisis now for him, because Rushman Dortley has been ruled out for the rest of the season after knee surgery. Inacio Miguel missed the match against Sundowns and again today. And Simango next on the list. Quinica is really something of a last gasp replacement, given how little game time he's had since arriving at Stellenbosch in Kaizer Chiefs colours. And Reeve Frosler, another one who's out. So Ed Milson continues as the other makeshift centre-back alongside Quinica.
It's going to be very rough, but these are the times that you need players with character to rise up into the occasion. It's Quinica's chance to be able to raise this game today.
We remember now the former Kaizer Chiefs legend Simon Bulahoko, also coach of Val Professionals when they won the Bobsafe Super Bowl back in 1994. Went on to represent South Africa in the African Cup Winners' Cup. What a great footballer he was, Bulahoko, in the early days of Kaizer Chiefs. A little before your time, William Shongwe, but I'm sure you heard of his legend.
Look, as legends of Kaizer Chiefs, every now and then we do have activities where we get to meet with all the former guys, the likes of Banks de Kloot and all those that are still alive. Certainly I've had the opportunity to meet with him. What a great man.
He will be sadly missed, Simon Bulahoko, a real personality on the South African stage, and particularly, of course, in the Vaal Triangle. Yusuf Ma taking charge today of Chiefs. Nwabali wears the captain's armband for Chippa United. 3rd meeting between these 2 sides already this season. The league encounter up in Gauteng ended in a 1-goal victory, with Shabalala scoring for Chiefs, and then Chiefs beating Chippa 3-0 in the Nedbank Cup in February. So can they make it a hat-trick of wins? Can Chippa turn that around and shock Chiefs today and go above them in the league standings? We're underway here at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. A little bit patchy, the grass, a little bit long as well, which might just hinder the flow of the ball in today's game. But it's always been an excellent venue for football, built of course for the 2010 World Cup. Well, Quinica puts that straight into touch. He'll be a bit nervous, I think, William, after such a long absence. Only 14 minutes of football so far this league campaign.
Not only just the jittery, the beginning start of the game, but further is can he last throughout the 90 minutes? It's going to be a very high-intensive game with Chippa coming at them, playing at home. So that for me is the other challenge, but he needs a few touches to get himself going, and I'm sure he'll be fine thereafter.
Sergio Camis these days in the centre midfield rather than his usual fullback position. Makes like Makela had the last touch on that, so or Justice Shabalala rather, so it's going to be a goal kick here, chance for Kaizer Chiefs to get this ball forward. Duba was a little bit of an injury doubt after coming off against Mamelodi Sundowns in the cup match on Sunday, but he has come through the fitness tests and into the starting lineup for today's encounter. And Solomons battled with a hamstring through the early part of the season, but is now with Reef Frosler out, the first choice right back. Of course, Jabulo Blom can also play in that position. He's on the bench for today's encounter. This is the big Zambian Sakala, who's joined the club in the January transfer window. Gets his body stuck in there almost immediately. Sakala on the left, and then very late challenge as well from
Kaizer. That is that left out on Solomons.
There's cross now.
Getting impressed with the shifting that middle mark by Chippa. Maybe not willing to commit too much to apply the high press, but happy to make sure that the midfield is secured and solid.
Now Sakala with possession, good running down this left-hand side, but falls out of play. I'll be happy to see the return of Kwayiba into the lineup. Chippa United, he really has made his name in this particular campaign.
Impressive for a midfielder for the number of goals that he's scored, and coming from more like an 8 and then pushed up to number 10 and eventually is played as a number 9. Today drops a little behind. It's Sakala that is into his former number 10 position, but he's one of those players that knows how to get into that box unnoticed, and he's a great finisher. He's developed himself well in front of goal.
Consolation, but Chippa didn't really miss him much. They won one and drew one their last 2 games that he sat out, so 4 out of a possible 6 points has taken them to the cusp of the top 8. And in fact, if you take out the Royal AM matches, which we expect will be expunged from the league next week when a final decision is made on the club standing in the top flight, then you'll have a situation where Chiefs will lose 1 point. Chippa United haven't played Royal AM at all this season, so they won't be affected. So effectively, although the official log says 30 points for Chiefs and 29 for Chippa, it's 29 each. So this is a really, really huge game in terms of a top 8 finish for either of these sides. Now Modi scored in the cup game. There's a little bit of a mix-up between Shabalala and Nwabali. I'm not sure Shabalala got a call from his goalkeeper.
Most probably, because I think he could have cleared that ball, but instead just tried to, let it, his body sock it up. I think deflects a bit in front of him, and he was all over the place, not too sure exactly what to do with it.
Well, Chiefs laying down a little marker. Mordi to Morris, good cover defence at the back from Makele. Basuto international, who previously played for South Africa at under 23 level. Now there's going to be a yellow card here. Navali gets a yellow, which means he's going to have to sit out the next match for Chippa United.
Is it Navali or Makele?
Yeah, we'll have to double check on that. So it could be Makele.
That's right.
Come back to you on that yellow card and just make 100% sure, not clearly shown by the referee. There was an earlier tackle on Yusuf Mart by Shabalala, and I think maybe that is the reason why the card went. So it's neither Mabali nor Makele as we set up here, but rather Justice Shabalala.
But belatedly so.
The referee could have helped us a little bit by giving the card to the right man. Now, here comes Chippa. Kaizer gets the cross in, back post chance. It's just a little bit too strong for the big man Sakala. Is this going to go for a corner? Yes, says the linesman, despite the efforts of Kwinika.
You'll be very impressed with the reaction from the stands. So when Chippa gets into the attacking phase of the game, it goes real wild and very noisy. I mean, you think Kaizer Chiefs are dominant in the stands, but it doesn't seem to be the case.
Sergio Kamis will take this. Early stages of the match here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. A little bit of elevation. The header comes from Morris. And get another corner. Ozo tried to get the ball in at the near post. Was blocked by Yusuf Mart. Well, they've got some height in there, do Chippa. The likes of Shabalala and Sakala need a bit more elevation, that effort from Kamis. Tole playing it back here. Adingwane is the other defender. He's gone across to the left as cover for the moment. Now offside.
Well spotted from the far side, because once again he finds himself maybe straying a little bit too early. He's got the full game in front of him. Should be able to adjust well. You should have the whole wall of the last line of defense from Kaizer Chiefs in your face. Very patient is Kaizer Chiefs at the moment. And as far as their build-up play is concerned, not in a rush to get that ball forward.
Solomon's into Mart. Mart flags up. Foul there by Mart, but it seemed maybe a little bit on the harsh side, William.
Very, very harsh indeed. Another day that will have been considered a shoulder charge, which is normally very acceptable. Just how much of that stretch hand did make an impact onto the back of the defender. Look at the high line of Kaizer Chiefs. Obviously trying to avoid Chippa playing off the back. You always want it played long because it's a 50-50. That's anybody's.
Well, it's Chippa's on this occasion with Kaizer. That's excellently done by Mordi, who gets the better of him. Now sees a bit of a gap, puts the accelerator on. Surely that's going to be a yellow. Konkobe with the challenge. He is very fortunate not to go into the book. Cynically done there as Mordi was making his way through.
Missed the ball completely and he was hacked, taken from underneath. That for me, you can see he had no intention to get to the ball. That's why you called for a booking. I would have called the same.
I'm surprised Mr. Tomu would have been instructed at the Cup of Nations finals last season in the Ivory Coast, where they were very strict on that sort of thing, to immediately issue a yellow. Do so on occasion. Maybe feeling a little generous today. Easter spirit, perhaps. Now, Shabalala, just to confirm, did pick up that earlier yellow for the challenge on Yusuf Mart. And here is exactly what happened. The referee played advantage. Mart went down. And then Mr. Tom returned to give Shabalala the card, although he did not give it to him as clearly as perhaps the watching audience, including us up here, would have liked to be able to identify who got the card.
But of course, I think the role of the referee is to be able to let the game flow a little bit more and not to allow all these stops and starts, which is a big disruption to the game, to the progress of the game. We always want to see a bit more play.
Right. matches played. Now Mordi's got a bit of space. Serino offering himself as an option. That's going to go in search of Morris, easily away by Shabalala, picked up by Kobe, and then cut out by Serino. He loses out under a bit of pressure from Madingwane. Serino, one of the Chiefs players who comes into this game on 3 yellow cards. Their next match against Marumo Gallants will be followed by 2 games against Orlando Pirates. The derby in the league on the 3rd of May, then the cup final in Durban, which will be on the 10th of May. Now, you don't want to miss out those games through suspension, William, so you wonder if the likes of Buba, Shabalala, Mordi, Morris today might pick up a 4th yellow card and rather conveniently miss the game against Marumo Gallants next Saturday in order to be available for the back-to-back derbies. We're not suggesting any impropriety here, we're just wondering, with a question mark.
You're planting the seed already, Mark, listen. And obviously, if you choose taking a staff member, you'll have done the mathematics and realize that you definitely will need some of these players not to, or maybe go through that last booking so that they're clear for those 2 very, very important games for Kaizer Chiefs.
Well, the corner count continues to rise here for Chippa United. Yet another set-piece opportunity. Cummings again from the right-hand side. And again, the likes of Shabalala and Makele forward, back post, this time much better. Took some desperate defending. One of the shorter players on the field, Solomon's, sorting that one out.
I think Vuma, they could have done a little bit better in coming out. That ball drops right inside the 6-yard area.
There's a much better kick from Cummings. Here's another good one towards the back post. And looking for another corner. Shabalala in hope more than anything else. He had the last touch, and we will have a goal kick now, Chiefs, to get it forward.
A big concern, though, if the ball hangs into that area and the opposition's player gets into it first, that for me will be a very big concern. You don't want to even give a sniff to anybody from the opposition to get closer to that ball.
So there are 3 games in the Betway Premiership on the programme today. Marumo Gallants and the Montville Golden Arrows already drawing earlier on this afternoon, a 1-1 draw. Sekhukhune United are hosting Polokwane City in the Limpopo derby. That's kicked off at the same time as this game. No goals yet there, as is the case here. And remember, those 2 African club competition matches involving South African sides. Mamelodi Sundowns held at home by holders Al Ahly of Egypt in the first leg of their semi-final at Loftus earlier on today, 0-0 draw. Another yellow card, and Serino into the book. And the other game, of course, to look out for is the encounter between Orlando Pirates and Pyramids, which will get underway in some 15 minutes' time at the Orlando Stadium, also in the semi-final of the Champions League.
So Serino has done his trick here. He misses the next game with that booking. So it's going to be available for those games that we've been referring to.
Yeah, Serino will miss the game against Gallants, but that'll be suspension, be back for the derbies. Of course, unless he picks up another yellow today,
that
then
makes
he
it
gets
2
a red card,
yeah.
and then he sits out 2 matches. Sergio Cummings has a lot of support from Tabo September. Sees him as a big part of the side. There he is again. Ball given away to Pele.
The forward movements of Kaizer Chiefs, so I say, across that central line is not enough. There's not enough showing there. As a result, the players at the back gets caught with so much ball possession.
Now, a little bit of innovative defending, we should say kindly, from Chippa United. Kaizer Chiefs with a throw-in, and they've missed a little bit of the momentum. There's a cross coming forward to take it. Now Serino. Kelly. Solomon's here on the right. Yusuf Martin support. Kunika. Nabali against one of the smaller players on the pitch. Not all that convincing coming out.
Got the height, got the distance. Maybe for now, it's good enough.
Payiba, a bit of running from Martin down that right-hand side. The ball's too strong though.
We haven't seen much of him coming from the right-hand side. We know he's got the pace. Talking Craig Martin. And I guess maybe with Chippa being on the back foot for the most part, they haven't played so much onto the front foot, even more to the right-hand side. Most of the attacks have been coming from the left-hand side. That's why most of the set piece corner kicks that is only come from the left-hand side of the attack.
Failure to Kunika. Solomons, Morris, who joined in the January transfer window from Supersport United. Nice little boost to his pay package with that move. Yes, Serino. There's the cross. Morris has got support behind him from Mart, but Nabali just nonchalantly snatches that out of the air.
I'm sure Morris would have wished it was in closest to the goalkeeper because he would have put in a decent challenge. But only Serino was.
Nabali through the middle, and Kaizer will take it away. Yes, Serino up to Duba. Modi away for Chippa. Now a decent pace to this game. Sakara getting chaser in between the two centre-backs. Can the Zambian win the ball? Back to goal. Needs a bit of support. Well, he did well there. Support from Kobe and Sitoli. And Sitoli gives it away.
Another thing that we haven't spoken about is there wasn't any watering or showers to the grass before the game, so that ball is sticking a bit. The roll is not as good as you would like. Maybe a little bit later on when the dew starts to settle.
Nice ball to Solomons, needed a better first touch. It was very quickly. Sitole is on his case. He has Mark now. Tries the long range shot. Nabali makes the save. It does get the crowd going though, so even though the shot was perhaps a little bit tame and maybe just going off target, it does get a bit of momentum here for Kaizer Chiefs.
The fact that it's a ground shot, I spoke about the grass just now, that ball just slows down rapidly. I can imagine if it was a little bit higher, because the grass holds it. It's made it a little easier for Nabali to pick it up.
Now Kunika settling in a little bit easier. Not had the happiest of times since moving from Stellenbosch, where he was the player of the season before he left for Kaizer Chiefs. He was a Chiefs junior that the club let go, and they paid quite a lot of money to Stellenbosch at the same time as Dupree, or maybe a little bit after Dupree. But he hasn't really reached the heights at Kaizer Chiefs. So with all the injuries at the back, now's his opportunity. Get these stages, William Chongwe, and you need to take the chance, the opportunity, and utilize the stage.
We've seen quite a bit of Chiefs being able to buy players that were theirs and having to pick them up back from other clubs that were let go as juniors. I'm sure if we had to look into your stats, you come up with a number of names.
There are a few. I'm not too sure I'd blame the club though. You can only keep a certain amount, and some players just take a little bit longer to
mature.
come through. But it is always a little bit embarrassing when you have to go and pay for someone that used to be on your books.
Why not loan them out rather than let them go?
there's also restrictions on the number of players that you can loan out. So easier said than done. Now, while we're having this little break, Tabo September using the opportunity to talk. There's the longest thing stand now. The Chiefs would move up 1 point, and Chippa would move up 1 point to 30. They would still be in 9th place. You make any sense of that board there, William?
Well, you need to be a little bit closer to this pick up what September sent back. Clearly, for me, he's not happy with Martin. Martin has been forced to defend a bit more than going forward. You need him for his speed. That information is well known. He can really do quite a bit of damage, but we haven't seen much of his progress down the right-hand side.
Mabali wants Shabalala to pass the ball to him. Now looking to get Madingwane going down that right, up to Martin, Faiba, and it's Chippa's free kick. The referee could have played advantage there, you think? Yeah. Now both teams will have 4 games left in the league after today's encounter. Chippa next away at Stellenbosch on the 30th of April. That'll be a midweek game, a Tuesday night. Then they play Supersport United away and Marumo Gallants away, and finish the season here against Mamelodi Sundowns. You wonder if that might be a championship deciding match potentially. So Chippa playing today here, their penultimate home game of the season, 3 away games to follow, and 1 more at home against Sundowns. Chiefs have got 4 league games after this. Marumo Gallants next Saturday, same time at Soccer City. Then Pirates at Soccer City. That's already sold out, by the way, the May 3rd derby. Away on the 17th of May at Sekhukhune, and they finish at home against Polokwane City. And in between all of that, of course, don't forget the Nedbank Cup final as well in Durban on May the 10th. We haven't heard if that's sold out yet, but I presume that those tickets are flying out the window as well.
I could be mistaken, listen. I don't remember the cup final being played before the end of the league. Normally,
I'll tell you why, William. It's a very good question, but it's because of the Champions League. The Champions League final, first leg is on the 24th of May. It's the same day as the last day of the league. And then the second leg on the 1st of June. So they brought the cup final forward in case the South African side made it to the final. Now, Wuma in a bit of trouble. Edmilson in a bit of trouble. And Satoli might have a shot with the left foot. No, floats it in. Craig Martin fires, but he was impeded a little bit by Kele. And the referee stopped play because we have a player down here in the penalty area. That was all of Chiefs' own making, I think.
Vuma in particular hit that ball. The way he dropped it, it was as if maybe the whistle had been blown. Because maybe he was fouled or something, because you can see holding his head, and he's like, now this will tell us exactly what happened. Yes, he gets clattered into by Shabalala. But that doesn't mean then you drop the ball, not unless the whistle had gone. Then Dove, thereafter, instead of clearing that ball. And it's only a fair challenge from Shabalala, I would say.
Yeah, that move inside again from Edmilson was not a wise one, but Shabalala, who caused the initial offence, is the man who needs the treatment and will hobble away here. 33 years old these days, Shabalala. You remember when he was an emerging star at Free State Stars, stepped up by Orlando Pirates after only 1 season in the top flight. Now, Chippa United, 9th place. With Arrows drawing today, they moved up to 29. It's nice and exciting there. In fact, even Cape Town City, who are third from bottom. Could make the top 8 if they win their last 3. It's going to be a bit tough. They've got Sundowns and Stellenbosch in 2 of those 3 games, but in theory the teams still struggling at the bottom might yet make it up into the top 8 if results go their way. But it's going to be a nice little scrap for top 8 places.
That's a beautiful league. So competitive. Anybody can survive, anybody can drop. So you can't breathe a sigh of relief up until it's over.
Solomons. Kaizer with Ed Nielsen, who's also battled a bit with injury this season. Recovering. Solomons has come back. A few players who really have had their time in the treatment room in this campaign. Steal from Morris, and Guba did well. Now Matt, that touch allowed from Tome to take the ball away. He's backed in to try and get possession back. This is Sakala with Sithole behind him. Sithole delivers. Ed Nielsen with a clearance. So it'll be Cummings to take the throw in. And Sithole kind of floated in there. The number of players is absolutely looking to get Mordi away down the left here. Went against Mordi, by the way. Decision in favour of Chippa. Up to Sakala, give him a flick on. Cummings bursting through. Sergio Cummings with a chance. Turns. Little backheel into the path of Martin. But you wonder if he shouldn't have snapped a little earlier. He's not the quickest, Cummings, and they caught him up. But that's a very good breakaway chance for Chippa United.
A rare moment for him to push that high, having been a more defensive midfielder. This one breaks through. Maybe there, he just didn't need that second or third touch. Hesitated more than anything.
It does mean another corner. And Cummings again to deliver. Up in the air from Morris. Now, half-hearted appeals from Chippa for that particular challenge. Play on, straight down the middle for Nwabali, looking for Martin, Solomons, Cummings, not cleared properly by Chiefs. Cummings now with the right foot. Ed Nielsen also doesn't clear with much conviction. Solomons will give this straight to Sithole. He needs to get it in. Not the best of crosses, and Shabalala allows Serino to clean up at the back, cross to come forward. Mordi, Duba and Morris in the middle. There's Serino, he'll switch it. Mark, now Solomons joins late on this right-hand side. They've got 3 in the middle. Cross inside, Duba's header off target. A little bit better from Kaizer Chiefs.
Speed with which they came out going forward. Might have just down the tree, and remember, Chippa on a high, having been on the front foot with those set pieces. So a rare moment where the space opens up for Chiefs, are able to get that ball through. I think you got to give it to Chippa. They've held a very strong midfield stand as far as not allowing Chiefs to build. This only came because Chippa were, for the most part, in the attack.
turnover of possession. This could be dangerous. Serino's first touch was just a little too heavy. Finds Sakala now, the big Zambian. Well, he's an impressive-looking striker, Sakala, just in terms of his physicality. Solomons looks to be in a bit of trouble here. Let's hope it's not a reoccurrence of the hamstring that's battled him all season long. Any interpretation there with
You got to see a whole more of the peak in front to maybe make sense of what he's trying to say.
Kobe. Cummings. This is back with Makele. Just a little chip through the middle, looking for Kaizer. Nicely done by Edmilson. Space on the left for Sitoli. Good running, but it might be a little too strong.
Pressed by Stolle, coming from the left full position. Pushes up, he's really stretched Solomon's quite a bit. They've overloaded that side, where Solomon is caught between having to challenge Stolle or stay with his men.
Still Sekukuni 0, Polokwane 0, and Pirates and Pyramids have just got away from the Orlando Stadium in the Champions League encounter. What are the chances, William, of an all-South African Champions League final?
Listen, I won't say no to that. I know his scoreline this afternoon maybe just takes the edge of Mamelodi Sundowns as far as them going to Egypt and winning away. But this is football for you.
Remember, they have won away against Alaki in Cairo before.
Exactly.
It's not like it's something that hasn't been achieved. Wouldn't that be just marvellous for South African football?
Here's the story for me.
Oh, strong header there. Shabalala and Morris.
But it's Shabalala that smacks into Morris. Did Morris maybe? I don't think Morris did anything wrong there. He was obviously looking to just cushion that ball into his chest.
And both players are up on the field. Sakala, lovely wall in for Cummings. Good interception from Edmilson. The Mozambicans having a storming game at the back so far for Chiefs. Mark comes and takes that away from Cummings. Now Guba, he's a real crowd favourite. Good ball to Solomon. Showed a bit too much. Good tackle from Kobe. Back again with Guba. 20-year-old. Serino, marked.
Too many back passes. I know there's always pressure coming from the defending team, but you gotta find your way to at least turn around.
Yes, Morris with a header. I don't think it's going to be. No foul.
It's almost the same scenario that we saw just a few minutes ago where Chabalala clattered into Morris.
Let's see what Chippa can do here with Kaizer on the right. Mane gets a good cross in, and Wuma makes the save. Bruce Wuma will be 30 next month.
Taking him a bit of time to command that #1 spot.
Well, I was mentioning last Saturday that he's played more games this season in goal for Kaizer Chiefs than the 8 previous seasons he's been at the club. In other words, more games in this campaign than in any other campaign. So, as you say, finally getting to hold on to that #1 jersey.
A home-brewed product.
Yep.
I guess maybe that's the really sweetness of what was brewed in there. Sometimes it takes longer than others. Remember, Kune settled into that sport very quickly, and he owned it for the longest possible.
Indeed. And the likes of Akpe and Dan Peterson were chosen above Wuma. Dying embers of Kune's career.
Chippa can play. Not busy.
Now Serino has possession for Kaizer Chiefs. Surveys the options.
Not too much going forward.
Yep.
That's what we find it on the side. That for me is one of the things that are lacking at the moment. We find that the central part of the attack is held by Morris. There's not enough coming through to create more options of that ball being played forward. That's the difference. We've seen Cummins now dropping a little bit closer to the attacking player. So the options for the ball to be played through, even for second ball, options are higher for Chippa United than Chiefs.
Solomons, Quinika and Edmilson. Now Tele. Serino. Dube's got a bit of space. Kick-on header is straight into the grateful arms of Stanley Nwabali.
Scored from a corner. Is Duba. This was just one of those moments, but it couldn't generate enough power. If anything, it looked like a back header to the keeper.
Now Kaizer does well to hold off all the attention of Kobe forward. Sitori here on the left. And Tele will take it away. Tele and Cummins, by the way, both played for South Africa in the Under-20 World Cup in South Korea 2017. Now they're on opposite ends, backing against each other in the midfield. Tele. 5 minutes to half-time. Still waiting for some decent scoring chances in this game. I think we've had plenty of bright patches in the midfield from both sides, but nothing clear-cut in front of goal. Shabalala goes down rather easily, and Solomons concedes the free kick.
Final death is not happening for Kaizer Chiefs. If anything, I feel like Chippa once again have created the better moments, shying away from really making the pass that matters. Morris has hardly had anything to be able to turn around and maybe take a strike. He's just been wondering and hoping something will come. A bit better on the passes, I think, will do Chiefs a lot of good in making sure that better moments are created.
Now Shabalala to Nwabali, and just for a split second there was perhaps hoped on the part of Chiefs fans that there was going to be a bit of a mix-up at the back. Good strong work from Edmilson. Seeing off the threat of Kaizer, he just won the physical battle there. He just looks so much more determined than everyone else on the pitch. Trying to win the ball as best he can on the ground and in midfield.
It's not easy to break them down. Hard-working midfielders. Allowing the ball to bounce was a mistake by Dove.
Inside from Sakala to Kaizer. Play on, says the referee, and he has a chance for Chiefs on the counter. Duba, long range shot, straight into the hands of Nwabali. He was on target.
Crowd gets excited over very little. It was on target, but it really wasn't threatening. But there's been such a lack of such moment that very little gets the crowd excited.
Now Edmilson down, needs a bit of treatment.
It's a good header by Morris to find Duba. He brings it down over a number of times as he tries to line it up. I mean, yes, there was a bit of pressure, but it doesn't quite fall for him. I think he still takes it while he's still a bit higher.
Now, Edmilson receiving treatment. Is that another player who's going to go onto the defensive injury list at Kaizer Chiefs? They are running short of players in those positions. And the stretcher is out for the Mozambican, which is not a good sign. They've got Happy Mashiani on the bench. He is a fullback by trade. Aidan McCarthy, who's never played in the top flight. Jabulo Blom could move into right back potentially.
Maybe.
Wonder Tetwa, if you might move him to centre-back. He's big and strong.
Listen.
Not too many options.
McCarthy has been sitting on the bench and threatening to break into the team. Maybe this is the time.
Well, there he is, warming up. Played in the South Africa team that won in the African Nations Championship qualifiers recently against Egypt. Is this the end for Edmilson?
And of course his dad, Fabian, will be watching this game with great interest to see what will be the progression of this matter. Legend of the club himself.
Alberto Kanyeza these days the assistant, having been the senior coach at Golden Arrows earlier in the season. 12th of September, you will remember William won 3 back-to-back league championships with Supersport United, 08, 09 and 2010.
In the having started at Mthatha Bucks, in Milo Park, and developed into a central defender at Supersport United.
Five minutes to be added on. Now Satoli off the chest, strong challenge from Solomons. It'll be Chippa ball. Chiefs have Edmilson back on the park again. Long throw to come in here from Cummings again. He's done all the set piece taking in this game so far. Gets good elevation, marked away. And Kobe back in there, Mark clears. Nwabali is the only player in the Chippa half. Straight down the middle, looking for Craig Morris. Edmilson up into the sky. Boomer can't come for that. It's a little too far forward for him. Nicely done by Kleiner.
Brilliant.
round of applause. Mordi, cross. There's Solomons. Serino driving this. And from Sitoli. There again. Now everybody's in the Chippa half. Solomons, that's an errant pass. Kaizer, can he make use of it? Good steal from Serino.
Five minutes has been added and already into the third. Of additional time of the first half. And I was thinking the way that the Chiefs are just calm about it, they're looking to hold on to the ball. I'm thinking, are they already looking to go into the half with that scoreline? And yet these are the biggest moments in football to be able to get one better from the opposition, because everybody is basically thinking that we're going to the half. They drop their concentration levels, and what a time to be able to come up with the best plan to hit hard.
And ball from Edmilson. It allows Chippa to have possession here with 2 minutes to go. Sakala. That's very well to hold up the ball. That's given away by Solomons again, not for the first time. Martin is going to go for the shot. Just wide from Craig Martin. A gift really from Chippa.
What's it in Kaizer? Oh, Martin. Given the opportunity, the ball fell for him. And he looked, there wasn't pressure, there wasn't much. Yes, it's Martin. The idea was excellent. Yes, that's a bit of pressure from Modi. I'm not sure if Vuma is going to be able to get there.
It was again a mistake from Solomons. Almost punished by Chippa. Cross drives this in. So Chippa might have the last say of the half. Kaizer out on the right. Sakala waits in the middle. Into the arms of Vuma. Again, Edmilson just getting a touch in there. Mark with the left foot. Looking for Mordi. Madingwani clears. Martin helping him. Here's Kamis. Maybe another one here. Kaizer on the chase. Up against Edmilson. Determined. Kaizer took his heels. It'll be a free kick for Kaizer Chiefs.
Clever from Edmilson here. What he did very well was he just ran in front of the defender and looking for that touch.
That's the end of the half. Last bit of action in the first half here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Kaizer Chiefs and Chippa United battling for 8th position in the table. Not too many chances, William Shongwe.
Indeed, that Chippa, at least for me, they created enough set pieces to threaten Kaizer Chiefs, but Kaizer Chiefs with all the ball position that they had, but there wasn't enough penetration. Passes falling short or playing too many side passes, not really hitting Chippa in any way. I think September will walk into the first half or dressing room feeling a bit happy.
He's had a roaring game, Edmilson, in this half, but mostly doing defensive duty, which is an indication that Chippa certainly have had their chances. Half-time here at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Host side Chippa United and Kaizer Chiefs are goalless.
The sun has certainly went down, but we are yet to see goals in this game between Chippa United and Kaizer Chiefs. It is Betway Premiership action. It is a Chippa United team. When you look at the moments that they've had, better moments to Kaizer Chiefs, but Jimmy, it is the shots on target for Kaizer Chiefs where they haven't been able to capitalize.
And that is because they are forced to take shots from far. Their option of going wide and bringing in crosses hasn't actually yielded anything positive for them. As a result, they are forced to take shots from far. Mart had an attempt. Duba also had an attempt from far. So I think so far, so good for Chippa United. It's how they then come back in the second half. Hopefully they won't crack from the pressure the Chiefs exerted in the first half, and hopefully in the second half they'll be able to cope with that pressure too.
Coach Sean, what did you ascertain from this particular game in the first half that we saw, with Kaizer Chiefs being the visitors needing to impose themselves, but it's Chippa United that is settling in a bit more?
Yeah, I always believe the onus is on the home team to go out and get a result. So even in saying that, I think Kaizer Chiefs had a few opportunities. Duba had a couple of headers, and Tasric Morris as well. But the more clear-cut chances has fallen, obviously, to Chippa. There's a few anxious moments in that 18-yard area for Chippa, but I think they've handled it well. You know, Wabali, I think, obviously big stature, so bit of a panic there from Shabalala, but Wabali does really well cleaning it up. So I think for them, it's like the Jimmy said, they've resorted now to obviously shots from distance, which should be really comfortable for any goalkeeper.
It's an interesting battle that we're seeing unfolding between Morris and Chabalala.
Yeah, of course, and because Tashrik relies on crosses and is not getting the service, and that is purely because Chiefs doesn't have an outlet in terms of the wing play. So it has made Justice Chabalala's job very much easy to monitor Tashrik, because the crosses are not coming in. As a result, all he has to deal with is to see how far Tashrik is, so that he's able to stay very tight on him.
There were quite nervy moments for Kaizer Chiefs. You can see Bruce Vuma there dropping. Chippa not able to punish.
But that's the game plan, because they want to put the pressure into the 6-yard area, 18-yard area, and see how the Chiefs defenders and the goalkeeper can handle that. And that is the difference that Jimmy has said. If you service Tasric Morris, it can be more effective. But they don't have a left-footed player that can swing the crosses. They don't have a right. Solomon's tried a couple of times, but you've got to try and provide the Morris with the service.
And you're talking about that wing play, you can see it from here, Jimmy.
Yeah, of course. So because they're using Solomon's Chiefs as a wing back, when the ball circulates, it's easy for the Chippa team to just move across. As a result, they close that option very early for him to bring in those crosses. Modi has to come in to bring in a cross. So you'd expect a player like Cross to be the one who goes slightly up to be able to bring in those crosses. This is where Tasric Morris is more effective for the team. So if you don't give him such service, he becomes redundant for you.
At the end of the 45 minutes, you're looking at those saves made by Stanley Nwabali, and very comfortable in the end.
Yeah, you know, that's what they say, routine saves for the goalkeeper. But, you know, the fact that obviously Kaizer Chiefs are creating opportunities, that's a good sign. It's just a matter of obviously now one or two of those opportunities you need to convert. Moments like this, you obviously more experience, you would have made a better decision. To shoot from there, you 3v3, you could have had a better option. But obviously he's confident enough to take that shot from distance.
I want to talk about Gaston Sereno. Do you think he's been effective in the first half? He picked up a yellow card. Do you think then they think, do we save him? Because if he gets another one, it means something different.
I think the sooner they take him off, just unfortunate to hit that one on target. But coming back to your question, I think Sereno, because he's already in a yellow card, maybe that prompts for a change in the team, you know, with Aiden maybe coming in for Dove, who's also been niggling there. So it might be a perfect opportunity to also bring in Aiden McCarthy.
It's a bit of a headache because you look at Dove, is he comfortable? Then you also have something that you need to do with that attack. What do you do?
But that's what I said before we started the show. You know, there's a couple of players that's injured already. Msamango, you've got Dortley, you've got Ignacio, and now Dove. I don't know if even Solomon's went down as well. So there's a couple of obviously options available. And Jabulo Blom, he's a natural versatile player. He can come in as right back. Aiden McCarthy would be the natural replacement to come in for Dove. So we'll see what the decision the coach will make.
We're hoping for goals in that second half, but at the moment, it is a goalless here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. We come back with the second half.
Welcome back everyone here to Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Beautiful night in the Eastern Cape. Kaizer Chiefs and Chippa United live in Betway Premiership action. No score in the first half. We're about to see a double change here for Kaizer Chiefs. Jabulo Blom and Glody Lilepo both standing by to come on for Chiefs. So Nazruddin Nabi not happy with what he saw in the first half, and we'll be hoping to see if two changes might turn things around for the side here in the second half. Yet to find out who the changes are for, but I don't see Dylan Solomon, so I reckon Blom on for him on the right-hand side, and Lilepo maybe on for Morris in the second half. I think those are the two, William, just from looking at who is on the park and who is not. We'll get confirmation in a second or two. What do you make of those changes?
Clearly the coach wasn't happy with Solomon's, with a few balls that were given away at critical stages of the game, but that is just one. Also, if you're looking at the width, hardly do we see moves on the left-hand side for Kaizer Chiefs. Maybe Lilepo prepares an inverted.
Also two changes on the other side. Players who started in the last game, Giovanni Philander and Bienvenu Evenga coming on. Sakala goes off. It's a little unfortunate for the big Zambian. I thought he did well holding up the ball. Didn't get much in the way of service. And confirmation, Solomons and Morris off. Lilepo, who was dropped after a rather poor performance against Sundowns in the Nedbank Cup on Sunday, is into the lineup here.
What will change though, with Morris, who I think for me had better legs to go forward, but unfortunately he still needed to defend better. That's where maybe the coach wasn't too happy about. So we won't see too much movement. That's why having Lilepo in front of Blom will make a lot of sense, because Blom doesn't run forward much. So definitely I think that's the whole idea. Stretch them on the wide with Lilepo, and hopefully he will deliver the right crosses.
So just to confirm, a double change on either side, reflecting the need to get themselves further into this game, perhaps from both coaches, feeling perhaps this first 45 was not to satisfaction. Foul against Everenga. Everenga, the Cameroonian, now 32 years old, hasn't scored since a 2-2 draw with Marumo Gallants on the 18th of January. Not the kind of numbers you want from your
top man
forward. Yeah. Cross, good ball. Finds Duba. Now Modi. Cross again. Pele. Into cross. Well, no foul there by Martin on Mordi, went down looking for something from the referee. Mr. Amangile Thomas not swayed. Edmilson.
Having one of his better games is at Milson, like he did last week in that cup game.
I think he brings just a little extra energy and fight to the defence. He just seems a little bit more determined than everybody else.
I think he found himself a little bit lost playing as a left full back, where he was made to play a position that he hasn't played in a long time. So maybe better suited now that he's grown a little bit slower as a centre back.
There he is again, electing to play it back to Bruce Wuma. Zita Quinica, his first full match for his first start, I should say, for Kaizer Chiefs this season. One substitute appearance in January. Serino, Mordi, onto the edge of the area. Can he make the box entry? Mordi gets the cross in, struck Craig Martin in the face. The referee says, hold on, let's get some treatment on here for Martin. Potential knockout blow.
He looks like he's asking himself, where am I? Well, okay. Listen, I'm not making a joke out of it. I know what it is to be hit by a ball in your face.
Absolutely.
Oh, he gets it full on.
Yeah, a little unsteady for a second or two, so the referee's done completely the right thing.
Lucky didn't hit his lips. I'm telling you, you can bleed from the ball just hitting you full on your mouth. And also, it hits you straight into your face or the eyes, and then you see stars for a while before you regain consciousness.
Taylor. To Blom. Blom was still officially on loan at Chiefs from St. Louis City, the team in MLS. Now Duba holds us up, looking for support. Arrives from Matt. Milepo across the face to goal. That was struck with some power. Was he going for goal from that tight angle, or was he hoping that someone would get a little touch onto that?
That's exactly what happens sometimes if you hit the ball beautifully nice, like mid-height, because you've turned the defense that they're facing their goal, they're all running, so anything can happen. That's what he was hoping for.
Now there's a chance here for Duba. Serino. What was Mordi trying there? Surely around the corner shot with his weaker foot would have been more effective than that effort. Kaizer Chiefs coming out of the block strongly here at the start of the second half. Serino. Kamis. Martin looking for Everenga. Nicholson is the defender. Too much. Two former Cape Town City colleagues there sharing a handshake and a little half hug, Martin and Edmilson. Lesotho international, cut out by Mart. He gets a second bite. Finds Kobe. Filanda. Wide from Giovanni Filanda, who's started only his second game in Chippa colours when Chiefs beat them by 3-0 in the Nedbank Cup second round. A regular starter for most of this calendar year. Off the bench at the start of the second half, yeah. last season. There's a yellow card here as well for Pule Modi. Here's another one, William, who will sit out against Gallants. Convenient yellow, we should say. Both Serino and Modi booked in this game. Both of them will be suspended for the next match. Both of them will be available, therefore, for the derbies. 2 in a row. May the 3rd in the league, sold out already at Soccer City, and then Chiefs and Pirates meet again in the Nedbank Cup final in Durban a week later. Duba looking for Nilepo. Got the strength, pulls it back, waits for support. It's a bit slow in coming. There's Blom. In the end, back to Nogwali.
Nilepo, I think, he's just in the present mind to realize that Modi was free on the right-hand side of the left-hand side of the attack, and just looping the ball across. I don't think even look up to see if was available, but look for options behind him. With that, allowed the defenders to get behind the action.
Navali's pass is intercepted by Klele. Too strong for Serino, though, the pass. And Ingwane will play it forward. Play on, says the referee. Legal challenge by Mart. Klele, Serino. Hit Klele. Martin's battling away there. Has he given away the foul? Yes, he has.
Hardly gives ball position away, Skele. He fights to keep the ball even if he's under pressure. He waits for the right moment to deliver a pass to anybody. He just doesn't release for the sake of getting himself out of trouble.
Made a good impression since arriving at Chiefs, of course. South African under-20 international. Never had a chance or never played in the Betway Premiership because he's been overseas, of course. Portugal, Poland, and most recently Russia. We hear the Pyramids have taken the lead against Orlando Pirates in the first leg of the Champions League semi-final at Orlando Stadium. That's a bit of a blow for South African hopes. Pirates 0, Pyramids 1. Good interception by Klele. Here comes Serino. Little space for Modi. The strength at the back of Makele. Maybe not the best choice, but he did the initial work well. Combinations just not working for Chiefs, but looking a lot more positive for the visitors since the start of the second half.
Indeed. I feel like they're a bit more composed, and you can see them getting over the center line a bit more with consistency.
Also the last touch. Chippa ball. Madingwani. Shabalala. Now, Kontobe. Bit too strong for Philander. Good pressure from Chippa. Sees Philander with the opportunity. Still Philander. Lovely skill from the 24-year-old. Cross inside. Oh, they went well wide.
Goes up trying. He attacks the ball beautifully, and he gets the better of the defender in as far as height is concerned. He just needed to turn his head towards goal. And I'm trying to imagine just how much reaction time would have the goalkeeper from ahead.
Well off target. Good news from Orlando, William, that goal that we mentioned for Pyramids has been ruled by VAR as offside. So still Pirates 0, Pyramids 0. Could have done with the VAR last week, I think, if you're a Sundown supporter. I hear people saying from around the country. Mordi will need a bit of treatment.
Yeah, that landed hard on his softest part of his body, if I may put it.
I was wondering where you were going.
He will go, right?
Oh, that's painful. Crowd still very much in this game. You can hear the buzz from around Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, but not much to enthuse over. Now it's Emerenga using his strength, laying it back at Madingwane along the ground. Not the best of balls inside, dealt with by Mutt. Kobe. Pace of Kolani, Sitoli. Another corner. There's 5 corners in the first half for Chippa. Now they get another one here in the second.
Does well, Lopo chasing Stoll to make the block. That's what you want from Italy attacking players.
Is there going to be another corner? Yes, it is. If you look at the stats, William, there's a little bit of hope because we've had 27 past meetings between these two sides. 15 wins for Chiefs and 9 for Chippa, but only 3 draws ever in 27 past meetings. Does that mean we're definitely going to have a winner here today? And that means somewhere along the line we're going to get a goal. Punched away by Vuma.
I think it's a game that deserves a goal. Not necessarily in the way that the teams are playing, but I'm looking at what is at stake here. For Chiefs, obviously, will make a big difference in pushing them a little bit higher up into the top 8. But for Chippa as well, getting over Chiefs will be a big point to make under top of September.
Well, given that they're playing 3 of their final 4 league matches away from home, you think that Chippa definitely targeting the 3 here. It's going to be a lot tougher on the road. Here's Duba. As far as Kobe, to Martin, to Emerenga, to Sitoli unwide. Philander going on the overlap. Sitoli inside. Cross got the touch in there. Philander back into the middle for Martin. Facing the wrong way, unfortunately, for Craig Martin. Well, there are little suggestions here and there that we might yet have the breakthrough in this game. In trouble because, as you mentioned earlier, the injuries in the defensive department at Kaizer Chiefs are quite severe at this stage of the season.
But at least his position is a secure cover sitting on the bench. Mashani, that is. I'm sure he'll also be looking for that rare opportunity to come in and make a difference. He hasn't had much game time for quite some time now.
There's a brief glimpse of Mashiani there. Young McCarthy, Mashiani here on the left. Solomons has been taken off already.
Nail-biting moment, in the true sense of the word.
Tabo September was co-coach last season with Kwanele Kopo. Then Kwanele Kopo was head coach from the beginning of this campaign. He quit on New Year's Eve. And Tabo September back in head coaching role. This time was a solo hit. Coach Morde, Duba's there. That was a timely intervention from Shabalala, because that was perfectly on the head of Wandile Duba. And Shabalala just got the vital touch at the vital moment to deny him.
It's beautiful from Duba, because he attacks the box. He's not like the top man as such, but he attacks the ball beautifully in an attempt to make his presence felt. Oh, that is how close it was.
Yep, Shabalala did excellent job there. And Blom. Cummings has a look up, right on top of him, gets the free kick. Ever and Gar back into Martin, but here come Chiefs. Serino. Duba. Is this a chance now for Chiefs to break the deadlock with Mordi? Floats it in, too close to Mwabali. Looking to get Philander going, up against Blom. Signed from FN Rangers in the Cape at the start of the season was Philander. From Torbeck. Philander might try the shot here. Bula saves.
That's a stung Vuma's hands, and it looks to be off balance a bit. Whether I didn't expect this, I'm not too sure, because it looks very direct to me.
Was it the first one on target as well from Chippa in this game?
Got it nice on the half volley. And once again, Cross for me, he's having one of his better games as well in that defensive line alongside Dover.
So Philander will take the kick himself, and Mark will get the touch. Now Mabani drives this for Cummings. That's why you don't let goalkeepers pass the long passes, William.
Yeah, and hit it with the laces. I mean, that clearly is he's almost halfway through the game, like halfway line. If you hit it with the laces, you'll go all the way to touch.
Shabalala for Serino, just inject some energy in the midfield. Serino these days 33 years old, maybe not as proficient in the running department as he might once have been. Joins Solomons and Morris as those replaced in this encounter.
Dogo's up.
Look at that magic spray to sort him out. Stretcher has come on.
He's done some good work on this left-hand side of the attack for Chippa.
25 minutes to go. What changes are in the offing here for the home side? Jongwana is the player standing by to come on. Confirmation of the change. Palmer Jongwana is a homegrown product for Chippa United, just 23 years old. Had a couple of substitute appearances last season for Chippa. First start in this campaign came in February when they won against Cape Town City. And now back onto the park for the final 25 minutes. Driven forward by Nwabali, looking for the big man Emerenga. Can he get the flick on? Edmilson sorts him out. Bit of space here for Blom. And we're looking for Shabalala to provide some creativity at this stage of the game. Remember, Chippa coming into this game without having lost in their last 3 league encounters. Good haul of 7 out of a possible 9 points for Chippa from their matches at home against Polokwane City and Amazulu, and then an away game against Golden Arrows. Mamelodi Sundowns hadn't won in 4 games when they took on, Chiefs hadn't won in 4 games when they took on Mamelodi Sundowns last Sunday in the Nedbank Cup semi-final. Got a win there. Both sides coming into this with a little bit of form. Now Linepo. That was a big bite that he took out of the cake, as it were. Still chewing away there. Gets the ball in here. Shabalala laid back. Bit of confusion there with Martin, with Tele. And in the end, he has the pace of Chippa with the likes of Martin and Philander bursting forward. Craig Martin so quick, of course, Philander next to him. And Martin decides to pass to Philander when you think maybe he should have just carried on by himself. Now Mordi slips his defender. That's good work from the keeper. Mordi, the first touch, just showed a little bit too much of the ball.
Yes, that's exactly where he lost the plot, and which gave the goalkeeper the moment to come and make himself big, but still. That leg, stretch leg to make the block. Excellent. Maybe he needs to make this decision a little bit quicker. You don't have to go past the goalkeeper. Remember, in the derby against China also, he tried to go past. It's a beautiful first touch, but that second touch lets him down big time.
Almost doing the splits here, Nwabali.
He's a big lad to start with. So
I don't remember you ever doing one of those sliding leg things in your day, William?
Listen, we go with our hands. The hands gives you more accurate measure of the ball than when you spread yourself on your legs. Sometimes when you do that, you actually look away when you go with your legs. I advise coaches to say, hey, help the goalkeepers to be a bit more brave. If they get smacked on the face, that's part of their job.
Tele into the book. In the meantime, Madingwane taken away by Shabalala. He's a player who certainly can come on and really inject energy into the team. That's what Nasruddin Nabi would have been hoping. Free kick here for the challenge on cross. Or is it a throw-in? Excuse me.
Now I do feel that Duba as well, I think has gone off the ball a bit, so it doesn't apply the pressure that we look for from a player.
Martin looking for Emerenga. Headed away from Edmilson. He goes down. Emerenga is injured. The referee will stop play.
So is Dove. Clash of heads.
Last season, Chippa United only won 8 matches in the league. If they win today, they go past that number. This is shaping up to be potentially their best season yet, but if not, certainly their second best. They finished 6th in 2016.
Certainly no talk of relegation battles in the corridors of Chippa United offices.
Which has been the case for the last 4 or 5 years.
Perennial. Well, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. The pressure of the game is taking its toll on this.
Sundowns drawing earlier on today against Al Ahly. Pirates, of course, involved against another Egyptian side, Pyramids, both playing in the first leg of the Champions League semi-finals.
So a potential Egyptian Cup final as well.
Could be all Egyptian, could be all South African, could be one South African, one Egyptian.
We'll wait to see.
The second legs, by the way, are on Friday night, back-to-back, and will be live in your World of Champions from Cairo. Now Krinika puts this forward in search of Duba.
Hasn't put a foot wrong, Miss Kunika. Impressive on his part.
Foul for Pele. There's going to be a yellow card here. He's just come on, Jongwana. Into the book he goes. Closer to the final 15 minutes here at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Kaizer Chiefs with the free kick. Pele, the man brought down. Pele, the man to take it. Floats it here. Edmilson. Elects not to head it. Now comes the cross. And it's a tired looking one. He's put a good effort in today. Bobby Mutong, Kaizer Mutong in the VIP stands.
Looking very stressed.
The Kaizer Chiefs' job is not an easy one.
No.
Now, cross clears only as far as Filani. Good interception from Mutt. Just got a vital touch in there. Shabalala will be beaten by the other Shabalala. Shabalala with a C, and this is Shabalala with an S. Ashley Dupree to come on for Kaizer Chiefs in these closing stages. You mentioned Duba being a little tired.
Makes a lot of sense. You need to inject a bit of lap power, speed, and maybe not so much build-up. It's one of those that can look for that ball behind the defensive line with his speed.
Might go into the midfield in place of Pele. That's a good change as well. So all 5 changes for Chiefs now being made with some 15 minutes to go. An update from Polokwane, Sekhukhune leading Polokwane City there by a goal to nil. Chance for them to go back up into 3rd place in the Betway Premiership standings. Goal scored by Ramala in the first half. Tomorrow on the this TV Premiership, the Betway Premiership menu. Magesi against Galaxy, 3 p.m. kickoff. The game will be coming to you from Shisheko Stadium, just outside of Polokwane. It's a fairly quiet Easter Sunday on the domestic front. You can enjoy time with family and friends on this holiday weekend. Lelepo now. Shabalala gets the call from Navale. Good work there from Duduzi, or from Dupria, to try and nick it away while Chippa were talking a little bit too much.
Yeah, a bit of confusion between the defender and goalkeeper. Shabalala thought maybe Navale will come a little quicker to pick it up, but then the threat from Dupria was enough to cause that confusion.
To touch off Blom. Philander to leave the ball for Sitoli. A goalless draw between these two teams last season. We mentioned earlier that not been too many draws in the past clashes between these two sides. A total of 3 in 27 past meetings, but there was a goalless draw in Gauteng last season. To go all the way back to 2018 for the last time these two teams drew. Here's Blom into the arms of Marvali. He's not exactly going to be challenged aerially by Ashley Dupria then, is he?
Not at all. But as well, if you get into the byline like that, you can't just cross it straight. You got to cut it back a bit. I guess under a bit of pressure, Blom didn't have too many options.
Foul committed by Ed Milson. So who has the tougher run-in between these two sides in terms of...
games coming up?
Yeah. As we mentioned, Chippa will be away for 3 of their last 4. This is the Tanzanian Majagoro just standing by to come on, midfield player. The Chiefs, well, it's not an easy program. Orlando Pirates, one of the 4 remaining matches. Next one is Maruma Gallants at home. That's probably the easiest on paper of the lot. Sekhukhune away, Polokwane City at home. I mean, those are 2 teams challenging for 3rd place in the league championship. In from Philander. Either side is going to be happy with a stalemate here today. There's still some 10 minutes to try and win this match for either Chippa or Chiefs. Shovel out of our Cummings, just letting you know he's there. Looks as if Kontobe will be the player to come off.
He's done well, Kontobe. I'm not sure, but Chippa is not the most offensive of the midfielders. So is it now a sign maybe for September to say, okay, guys, we're happy with what you got for now. Let's see if we can save it.
Or is it perhaps that this man looks to be really struggling now in these closing stages, coming off, putting a very good shift.
Yeah, he hasn't seen action with Chippa for quite some time. I'm not sure whether it was injury or just loss of form.
Speaking of Tanzania, Stellenbosch away tomorrow, 3 o'clock kickoff on your World of Champions against Simba in the African Confederation Cup semi-final first leg. That's live from Zanzibar. Return match is in Durban on the Cape next Sunday.
Coached by one of our own as well.
Anthony Davids against Steve Barker. They certainly have met before, head-to-head. Mart out wide to Blom. Chiefs are pushing numbers forward now. Good combination with Shabalala and Blom just not working out, but have the throw. Clock now says 8 minutes to go. Time is running out for both of these sides. There is that factor, William, particularly over the last 20 years or so, the fact that big clubs like Chiefs, when they win a huge game, do seem to battle in the next match against allegedly inferior opposition. Talking about winning over Sundowns and then just not being able to find the same heights performance-wise. Although I suppose it's also fair to say these days their opposition is not markedly different or inferior. There's a lot of parity between the quality of the teams in the Betway Premiership. But you know what I'm saying? There was a regular complaint from coaches in the past.
Yeah, but you're 100% right. The gap between the so-called smaller teams has narrowed rapidly, such that I mean, look at this game. It's evenly balanced. It's a game that Chippa can win easily. It's a game that Kaizer Chiefs can win. You don't come to a game like this knowing that it's a given that Chiefs will win it. So it's been the same with most of the teams, except of course maybe the two at the top that has had the better of most.
Kaizer finds Cummings, looks up, battling with Mordi, onto his right foot, gets the cross in. Well, it wasn't intended for Evan Guard, was going a little bit away from him, but on target. I'm not sure that was what he had in mind. Save made by the goalkeeper.
It's a good save at that. And the goalkeeper, it's dropping a little bit behind him, so to try and catch it would have been a risk, a high one. So opted for the right choice to tip it over.
It means yet another corner for Chippa United. Look at that corner count, 9-0. You think it was one-way traffic today's game. Away from Vuma. Martin all the way back to Mabali. Jangwana with the header forward, but no one up front there at the moment. Matlo. Mabali's going to come out and collect this one. Mabali might be cramping a bit here. Almost 18,000 in attendance here today. The organisers were hoping for some 40,000 for today's encounter, but it is a holiday weekend. A lot of people go away back home from the urban areas. It's still a good turnout on this early Saturday evening. United still 1-0 up against Polokwane City in the other match being played in the Betway Premiership this afternoon. Marumo Gallants drawing earlier on with Lamontville Golden Arrows. In fact, Sekhukhune, we can tell you, have gone 2-0 up. Daniel Cardoso's just scored, so Sekhukhune 2, Polokwane City 0. Which means that Sekakune will go to 40 points, above Stellenbosch in the Betway Premiership, up into third, but Stellenbosch with the game in hand.
Well, it looks like Navali is now going to be able to continue with only a few minutes remaining.
Yeah, there's the signal. Substitute is Darren Johnson. Well, you wonder how serious that is for the rest of the season for Nwabali. Darren Johnson originally through the Ajax Cape Town system. Darren Johnson, 28-year-old, he's had 2 appearances this season in the league for Chippa United. He'll come on, former Ajax player, had a little stint at the Amatux team a couple of seasons ago, but joined Chippa last campaign. Last game was last month when they won 2-1 against Amazulu.
Sharing the spoils, it looks like the bosses are going to be. Because a moment ago we just saw Chippa Mpengezi also looking very concerned, and then the two Kaizer's bosses.
Yeah, it's taking a long while to get Nwabali off. We were being told, the medical team told the coaches, take him off. Maybe Nwabali has changed their opinion and doesn't want to go off. But for the moment, Darren Johnson will not be coming on for Stanley Nwabali. We will find out now how long that took in terms of time added on, because we have a minute left plus stoppage time to come. Amangile Tom gave 5 minutes at the end of the first half. How much time is he going to give here now? In the meantime, Shabalala, play on. Ashley de Clear running straight in the defence. Shabalala again. Still looking for the win here. Maklo.
Claude didn't quite make the impact that I was looking for. It's a player that will come in and really transform the game.
6 minutes to be added on. That seems fair. Edmilson. Martin. And the foul will go Chippa's way. No advantage, says the referee, from that earlier challenge on Jongwana.
By Modi.
Come from Everengar, away for a goal kick. Wilson finds Winika. Interesting ball into the penalty area, and Rabali's needing to stretch and hold this one.
It's a difficult ball when it's holding up in the air like that. As a goalkeeper, you're only standing underneath it. You can only jump so high, but the players that are coming onto you have the leverage of the momentum, like the coming.
Well, there'll be one more change for Chippa in the closing stages. Siren Ndlovu, who joined them at the start of the season, originally from Bushbuck Ridge. And Craig Martin will go off. Pyramids and Pirates still 0-0 in the second half of their Champions League encounter at the Orlando Stadium. Now the clock says 2.5 played, almost 3 of the 6 to be added on, so time is short for both sides. Edmilson. Mordi. The Priya. Long with a good turn. Play on, says the referee. Up to Shabalala. Cross now into the area. Bradley Cross strikes the ball wide of goal.
Needed to be on target with that. I don't blame him. Look at the forest of legs in front of the goalkeeper. Clearly, that would have sneaked past him if he was on target.
Well, he last scored a league goal when he was still playing for Maritzburg. Game against Cape Town City some 2 years ago now. Bradley Cross. Everengar hangs in the air, looking for Philander. Another strong clearance away from Edmilson again. Philander. For a makeshift centre-back, the Mozambican has been outstanding today.
Listen, the defensive line. Yes, maybe not too much of a show from Kanika, but like I said, for a player that has just made his first start of the season, brilliant. I was happy with Bradley Cross as well. Defensively made all the effort. He went high, I don't know how many times. Obviously, maybe the delivery into the box didn't quite happen for him.
Top 8 lock for Chippa. Well, that's certainly not the case. Chiefs will stay in the top 8 with 31 points. Chippa will be 9th with 30. Good strong challenge from Edmilson again.
Another one from Edmilson.
Just seconds remaining here at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. This might be the last throw of the dice now for Chippa United. And the coach shakes his head. He knows the pressure's back on again. Got a bit of relief this week from all the pressure. He has a chance to win it. Goes wide. Effort from Madingwana over the head of Philander. 6.5 minutes played already. Amongile Tom looks at his watch. That's it, yeah. No goals is the story from the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. A single point for both of these teams. I doubt either one is particularly happy with it, William Shongwe.
Not at all. I think there's so much at stake. I mean, that top 8 scenario for Chiefs, they've been there, I don't know, for the longest, and they just need to get 3 points like in 2 games, and that will change completely in this one game that they were able to do so. But for Chippa, I think it's a draw, but they'll still be happy, unbeaten in what, 4, and that for me is very, very positive. And they're picking up points along the way. This was a difficult game, so it's a different Chippa altogether.
So Chiefs against Marumo Gallants next weekend. Chippa to play Stellenbosch on the 30th. A little bit of wait for both of these sides. 0-0 here, final score.
It ends goalless at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium between Chippa United and Kaizer Chiefs. No goal scored in this game, but now we have to focus on the Betway Premiership man of the match, Lise Kazini forever. Sergio Kamis of Chippa United. Congratulations today, Sergio. You really kept things airtight in the middle of the park.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a very difficult and demanding game because we know Chiefs coming from a win against Sundowns, so their confidence is high, but we managed to keep them well.
I want to tap into your attributes in midfield because you played in a defensive position for the longest time for Chippa United and now being moved into that midfield. But I do understand that you were a midfielder in your academy days.
Yeah, at Ajax you tend to be a versatile player, so they put you left, you must play there. But anyway, they put me, I play for the badge and I do my best.
Let's talk about how important it was to break down a lot of those promising Kaizer Chiefs attacks.
Yeah, it was very, very tough because we know the speed they have up front. But credit to the boys, we worked hard during the week and we kept them at bay.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
He gave a top performance today, one of the outstanding players for Chippa United. I am now joined by his coach, Thabo September. Coach, I appreciate your time. You talked about the finishing. You wanted the goals. It was not to be today. What did you ascertain from the game?
I think we still have a lot of work to do. We had so many breaks that we had and wrong decision, wrong run. But the work that the players have put in, it was good. It's been good actually, the way they've been working so hard. And the main important thing at this moment is that we are also keeping the clean sheets. There's a lot of positives. We're not conceding goals easily. The structure is fine, so that will fix the end product where we have to score goals. It's something that we really need to work on. But I'm happy with both halves because in the second half, yes, it might not have gone the way we wanted. Chiefs control had more of the ball, but we knew at some moment we would be suffering in this game. I'm happy with the performance of the players.
This team had good moments in this game.
My team.
Your team had good moments in the game.
Yeah, no, we did. I think box entries, we just need to have, enough bodies inside the box, the right decision, the better cross. I think they cleared probably 8 balls on the ground where we were crossing. So it's things that we need to work on and improve. But yeah, it's a work in progress.
You had a bit of a situation with that left back position. I see Kolanias Tole, one of the players as well, that gave in a good shift today, making sure that Moleboge Modise has to really work hard to be back in the starting 11.
Yeah, there's good competition. There's good competition in the group. So we opted for Kolani for his speed, recovery speed as well. There's 3 left backs that we have. And Kolani is also a winger. So we opted for him to solve the problem that we thought we were going to get, and he solved it very well. He had a fantastic game.
Let's talk about the aspirations of finishing in the top 8, the fight that you still need to put out in the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's still going to be tough. We have 5 games that are very big and important. We're doing it for the people of the Eastern Cape. Hopefully we do get into the top 8 to make the province proud, the Premier, the chairman, all the mayors, both mayors from the Eastern Cape, East London and PE. So it's just for the people of the Eastern Cape, and the players are working hard. They understand the job at hand, and we will have to continue working. Top 8 is not going to be easy.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
For Chippa United, they really wanted to collect maximum points here at home. It was not to be, but it still keeps them in the race for finishing in that top 8 position. The journey does continue for them. I am now joined by the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs, Coach Nasruddin Nabi. Coach, it seems like it was a very frustrating evening today. Let's get your sentiments on it.
Ça a été un match difficile. Comment ça a été le match?
C'est un match très difficile, très engagé par rapport à nos adversaires. Je pense qu'on ne mérite pas de gagner vraiment ces matchs parce que dans la mentalité, dans le désir et dans l'agressivité, on a été présent par rapport à l'adversaire.
I think it was a very tough game, but to be honest, we don't deserve to win this game. To win this game, you must win challenge. You must be ready for every challenge. You must be number 1 for the ball. I think mentally we was not ready for this game. Like I said, for you, to win the game, you have to be more than 100% ready to fight.
Let's talk about how he changed the point of attack, bringing in Lilepo, but still no goals were coming.
Parlons de l'attaque, Lilepo, comment tu vois la performance?
Je ne vais pas parler individuellement, toute l'équipe était, à part 1 ou 2 joueurs, ils étaient hors de leur niveau naturel, normal.
We don't want to discuss individual about the player. We said about all the organization, all the player. We are Kaizer Chiefs team. We are not player by player. So we spoke about the team. The team was not ready 100%. It's not what we showed last week against Sundowns. It was totally different.
Let's talk about that, the chances that were created, because when you look at the numbers and the chances, Kaizer Chiefs were on the better side than Chippa United.
Parlons des occasions ratées. Lorsqu'on voit les occasions qu'on a ratées, Kaizer Chiefs c'était mieux.
Oh, même si on a gagné, on ne mérite pas de gagner avec cet état d'esprit.
Same answer. Even if we score with this opportunity we get, we don't deserve to win this game.
With this spirit, we don't. With this spirit today, it's if I win is not correct, you know. I need another spirit, another mentality, winning mentality. But I think today we are all the team. We are out today, out in normal performance.
Coach, I want to know, as a coach, then what do you do if you're saying the spirit was not there? How does it make your job that much difficult or easy? What do you do to get the mentality right and the spirit right?
Comme l'entraîneur de l'équipe, quand tu dis que l'équipe mentalement elle était prête, c'est quoi le vrai problème? C'est votre travail de préparer l'équipe mentalement.
C'est d'abord l'adversaire, il était très agressif, il s'est donné. C'est comme ça qu'on voulait être. Au même niveau, et nous avons préparé l'adversaire, préparé notre équipe, que ça va être très très dur. On n'arrêtait pas toute la semaine jusqu'à dernier moment sur le plan mental, parce qu'on savait après le dernier match qu'il va peut-être avoir un petit relâchement naturel, mais on a préparé. Sauf que vous avez un adversaire qui a tout donné, il fallait être prêt à 200%, on n'était pas aujourd'hui tout simplement.
I think we discussed, we know before that after the win of semi-final against Sundowns, it will be very tough to prepare our players mentally, to keep concentration and to keep focus in our game. We don't play alone. We play against Chippa. Honestly, Chippa, they deserve to win this point today. They was fighting. Even if you see statistic of the challenge, I think they was more aggressive than us. They fight more than us to win the ball. And you know, football is tactic, technique, and mental. You have to be ready for all of them. If you are mentally, you are not ready, you can't win game.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. That is the head coach of Kaizer Chiefs, Coach Nasruddin Nabi. I am now joined by the chairman of the Chili Boys, Chippa United, Mr. Mpengesi. Thank you so much. This team is called the Pride of the Eastern Cape, and of course now they're fighting to finish in the top 8, something that hasn't come easy in the past seasons. Let's talk about the job that has been done and what awaits for Chippa United.
No, thank you. I think the team has done well this season. They've won many games at home, especially that side of the province, East London. I mean, 1 point against Kaizer Chiefs, I mean, for us it's 3 points, you know what I mean? You can't ask more than this. So you can see something this season, you know, that is, we're doing good, and we're grateful to God for that.
Let's talk about also your ability to believe in the local coaches. We saw a young coach starting his professional journey in coaching, Coach Thabo September, and the faith you've shown in him during the course of the season.
Yeah, look, I don't think there's any chairman, you know, who have given a local coaches a chance than me as Chippa Mpengesi. And with September, a very humble guy who understands football. You know, I throw him into the deep after Kopo left. And then see now, as you rightfully say, you are in for top 8 challenge. And we congratulate him for this achievement. And it looked like we'll have a very, very good season next season.
I was about to say that, fair to say you'll be keeping him around?
Yeah, look, if it's not broken, why fix it? Look, I've been in this game now for in PSL for more than 12 years. So, you know, I think we're very close, you know, in achieving what we want. You know, I mean, it's not acceptable that clubs like Magesi's, clubs like Cape Town Cities, you name them, Galaxies, they all came after Chippa United, but they've got trophies. You know, at Chippa United, we are sitting here, we have not won trophy, we have not been in Africa. Club like Kukune, that came yesterday, you know what I mean? They're competing for Confederation Cup. So we are trying to build a consistency, and we hope that with September, you know, we are going to achieve that.
finally, to the people that come out and support Chippa United, you've played in different venues during the course of the season, and every time the fan base has always been there.
You know, I always say Chippa United is not only for Chippa United supporters, because through Chippa United, Kaizer Chiefs supporters, Pirates, Sundowns are able to watch their teams close by. It's a very good project that I'm very proud of for my beloved province, Eastern Cape. So for me, it's about hosting event, a successful event. 3 points is a bonus, you know. Obviously, I'll go to the bank smiling because of the gate intakes. So everything goes on my favor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. All the best for the rest of the season.
All right, thank you, sir.
Mr. Mpengesi, the chairman of Chippa United. And of course, now we're going to look at what really transpired in this particular game where they would have wanted to score goals, but it was not to be. As we look at the highlights from the first half, we look at the chances, still joined by Jimmy Dow and coach Sean Butler for Chiefs. Just couldn't find the target, Jimmy.
Yeah, and I think the second half, with the changes of Lelepo coming in, it gave them a bit of an outlet, you know, but nothing really to write home about because Chippa in the same vein were also in the game, you know, and one really needs to give credit to Chippa United for just taking the game to Chiefs and not making sure that they don't just sit back and allow Chiefs to put pressure on them.
Coach Sean?
Yeah, I think, Chippa came here with a game plan. Obviously, they sustained what was thrown at them. But at the end of the day, they also took the game to Kaizer Chiefs. And, you've got to obviously in some way also agree with the coach. That energy they had last week against Mamelodi Sundowns, we didn't see maybe 3/4 of that today. Had they maybe given a little bit more, they could have troubled Chippa United.
The coach was saying Chippa were better than us in almost every aspect, whether it's from winning duels, whether it was even with the aggression that they applied. You could see that they wanted it more.
Look, he's so right, and I applaud him for his honesty because it takes a very modest man and who's dealing with reality to realize that his team was a different team altogether this evening. But also, the application has to be consistent. And if you don't have that, then you have an inconsistent performance like they had today. So we're not sure whether it could be as a result of the complacency coming into this game, having done so well against Sundowns, and you're still carrying that, Sean, just as a motivation into the game.
Yeah. No, I even said to someone now, the biggest problem with Kaizer Chiefs has been the inconsistency. I think it's maybe 2 or 3 times they've won back-to-back games. For a club this size, it shouldn't happen like that. They need to be more consistent. And these are the games that they need to come out with more convincing performances. Next week is not going to be easier. Going to Gallant, also Bloemfontein is a tough place to go. So these are the games that you need to really consolidate and be consistent and win in order to, solidify your position in the top 8, if you still want to be in that top 8.
Especially because they are building up to a cup final, so they need to get that good run of results. And you look at some of their opportunities as well for Chippa United. Chippa United showing that they were here to honestly play. You could see just the surge of energy brought by a player like Giovanni Philander. We look at the full-time stats in this game, and Coach Nasruddin Nabi still feels like they should have maybe tried something different. Nothing was just falling for them, Jimmy.
Look, they should have. We agree. But the question is what? Because he came out with the first lineup, it didn't give him the desired results or the performance that he looked for. He goes to the bench, he still doesn't have options in terms of what can give you the desired outcome. So I think it's also incumbent upon themselves to really make sure that given an opportunity, how much you take out of it, But I think the longer you keep the game at stalemate against Chippa United, you then give them the belief, the confidence to then say, it's still there for the take, But if you kill the game off early by upping the tempo, making sure that you impose yourself, you make it difficult for Chippa to get into the game. But if you go into your 70th minute and the score is still at a stalemate, you are saying to them, anyone can win this game. And that is exactly what Chiefs did. They sat back, allowed Chippa to come to them. And as a result of that, they had to play on the back foot for the better part of the game.
Let's analyze what Coach Nasruddin Nabi says, Coach Sean, because he doesn't point out anything wrong with the tactics, formation. He speaks about the spirit.
Yeah.
He speaks about just the fact that maybe they don't have that mentality. Is that something that you can fix?
Well, it needs to be fixed, like we've mentioned. Now, obviously, we've got Gallants coming next week and then the cup final. So I think, the spirit for me, it sort of translates into the energy. That for me was non-existent today. And if the energy was better, then you would have seen players more on the ball, would have moved into spaces, attacked the defenders. We didn't see much of that today. And I think that for me, obviously what Coach Nabi was talking about, when you talk about spirit, you probably wanted more energy in that final third and the decision-making to be a lot better.
And for Chippa United as well, Coach Thabo September had said that they want to work on that finishing. It's something that he pointed out to say, during the course of the week, we were looking at creating chances, at finishing, and they just couldn't bury the chances that they got today.
They couldn't, purely because they're also not clinical in front of goal, but they kept knocking, trying to make sure that, whether through set pieces, because that was another possibility for them to score against Chiefs through standard situations. But also bringing in a player like Evan Gaya off the bench. He comes in, he impacts the game positively. He bulldozes the Chiefs' defense. And it's just for them to not struggling to actually link up in front of goal to make sure that they are much more clinical in front. Because defensively, they were solid. I must give them credit. But I think it's in front of goal where they don't have answers at this point in time.
And that was due to a lot of the work that was done by Sergio Gamis, especially in that midfield for Chippa United. There were 3 games today in the Betway Premiership, Lise Gazini Forever, and it started with the Marumo Gallants up against Lamontville Golden Arrows on today. And of course, yesterday, there was that big result for the Natal Rich Boys up against Cape Town City. But then you have to look at the stalemate here and give plaudits to eSekhukhune United, 2-0 up against Polokwane City. They are fighting to finish third on the log standings. Come Sunday, it is Makesi that have been so imperious at home. They take on a TS Galaxy as well that know that they want to fight for the 3rd position. Well, the ramifications on the log standings right now, Kaizer Chiefs still hanging on to that 8th position. They're not getting a lot of points. They could easily move out, Coach Sean.
Yeah, because I think if you even look at the bottom, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Chippa's got 2 games less than Kaizer Chiefs. So it gives them opportunity, obviously, and you heard the owner as well. For them, it will be a great achievement to get into the top 8. Like you've mentioned, it was 10 years ago, the last time they got into the top 8. So I think Coach Thabo September, the team, everybody's done well, but the season's not over. The tougher games is always, like they say, the business end of the season.
Yeah.
The last couple of games, what you play for, whether you play for top 8 or whether you're fighting relegation, I think the importance is that consistency to ensure that you get that position in the Betway Premiership next season.
In the words of coach or manager Alex Ferguson, he used to say it's squeaky bum time. Everybody is fighting for something. And now we looked at the squad list for today, Jimmy, and one player that you asked about, Mfundo Vilakazi, was not there. And that is because he had to go for the under-20 to play in the African Cup of Nations, which is starting, which then leads to the conversation about the DDC. For the first time in 10 years, it looks like Kaizer Chiefs might win the title. They're bringing back the glory days, one can say.
Yeah, and I think there's a conversation that we had off air to then say, how much feeder is the DDC team giving into the first team? Not only that, how much of winning do they bring to the first team? Now, if they win at that level, they get used to winning.
Yes.
Because I was asking about
Umduduzi
Tshabalala. There was so much, and they still hype around him. But I then say, at DDC level, what did he win? For him to know what it takes to win in the first team.
Jimmy, okay.
It's getting philosophical, yeah.
They're on the cusp of something that they've never achieved before, Coach.
But he is right. And if you look even at club level, when teams sign players, they don't sign necessarily players that's got the talent. They sign players that can win, that want to win, that have won. And that, obviously, that mentality, that experience, that counts a lot. And like you've mentioned as well, when you don't have players like that in your team, we're going to talk another 5 years, about winning something. Yeah. So they've got to make sure now they make it happen. And that's why I always say, when players, like Tshabalala, Vilaka, when they say, one day I'm going to play for Chiefs.
Yeah.
This is your one day. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted for your whole life. Now make it count. So it doesn't disappear. Win games, win trophies, and then people will remember you.
A good example will be the likes of Devin Titus from Stellenbosch. You look at what he's doing with his first team and their journey in the CAF Confed Cup. Also, Sipho Chain with Bloemfontein Celtic. But now the main focus turns to the CAF Confed Cup. They're away to face Simba. It's not going to be easy, but you look at their journey, Jimmy, in this CAF Confed, they've punched way above their weight.
Look, talk about riding the tide. You know, Stellies have done exceptionally well. And for them, with the team that they have, you know, in terms of depth or the lack of it, they've done exceptionally well. And I can only wish them the best of luck. They're carrying the country's flag, so I guess we have to be patriotic also in just supporting them, because they're not only representing Stellies, but actually flying the country's flag very high.
But I know he wants to comment because he's from the Western Cape.
No, not just the Western Cape. I'm obviously the South Africa as well, because we've got two South African coaches there.
True.
You know, in Fadlu Davids and Steve Barker in that particular game. So I think from that perspective, it's going to be tough to support, you know, but I think Stellies. I'll give it to you.
Stellies
because
of
you know.
next. Stellies of next.
Yeah.
The maroon.
But again, you're talking about Stellies. What has been giving them that boost is
DDC.
Exactly. And they've won it a couple of times. Those players have been promoted to the first team. They know how to win. And that's why also, obviously, that success came for the first team.
And they're certainly going to give Chiefs a very good run for their money in the DSTV Disky Challenge. But a reminder as well of our offerings when it comes to the magazine shows. Come Monday, 8:30 extra time, where you get a clear look at some of the incidents that happened during the course of the weekend. It doesn't end there, because tomorrow it is a show for the fans, by the fans, very vocal in South Africa, and that's why we love it. Fan base. On Tuesday, a lot is happening in the Motsepe Foundation Championship, because we are so close to the finish line. It doesn't end there, because on Thursdays it is a combination of music and football. Very, very simple. A show that we all so love, and that gives us so much more. And that is, of course, the lineup. Doesn't end there. We are so spoiled for choice when it comes to what we offer you on your World of Champions. Allow me to thank El Jefe, the big boss, Jimmy Dow.
Thank you.
Coach Short, really, really enjoyed sitting with you
Thanks.
pitch side and really getting tactical analysis of everything.
you.
Much appreciated.
Thank you. Always
Allow
a
me to thank as well everybody that was able to tune in, and as well our commentary team, Mark Gleason, not forgetting William the Cool Cat Shongwe, Baba Mtetwa, and Regine Lobo. From myself, Lerato Pajo, not forgetting the wonderful, amazing team behind me. It is goodbye and take care.